All right, so officially welcome, Yuri Elkaim here. Welcome to Ask Yuri Live. And as always, I've got the apple cider vinegar water, and we're gonna roll into the good old intro.
Trouble losing weight? Need more energy? Want to improve your health? You got a fitness or nutrition question? I probably have an answer for you.
Yeah, what's up? Hope you guys are doing great. How's everyone doing? You having a good day? Let me know where you're joining in from in the comments. I'm in my studio once again in Toronto, Canada. Freezing cold today. It's like that humid, bone-chilling cold that gets like into your bones and joints, and it's like, ah. Anyways, on a happier note, last night Toronto FC lost to Montreal Impact, which actually doesn't seem like a happy note, but they only lost 3-2. They were down 3-0 in the first leg of the conference championships, and 3-0 is not a good thing. So it's kind of a home and away game. I don't know if you guys watched it. So Montreal was winning 3-0, and that's a big hill to climb in the return leg next week. Toronto FC scored 2 goals in the second half, and they lost 3-2. But now they've got 2 away goals, and that's huge. And the cool thing is I'm actually going to see the game next Wednesday at BMO Field, 7:30 at night. It's going to be freezing, but it's all going to be good. So anyways, enough about soccer. If you guys watch TFC Montreal, let me know in the comments. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I apologize, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so here we are. We're answering your health, fitness, or nutrition questions, and welcome. So if you got a health, fitness, or nutrition question, ask me in the comments. Let's get right to it. Just a couple housekeeping things. I probably should let you know that my next published book, the All-Day Fat Burning Cookbook, is coming out very soon. It's actually going to be in stores in a month. End of December, it's going to be in stores. You can actually pre-order it now on Amazon. I'm sure there's a discount for that. So I'll actually do you guys a favor and give you guys the direct link. I don't actually have the cookbook yet. I'm waiting for it from my publisher. So I want to get that in my hands. One sec. So anyways, let me know if you guys have a question in the comments. I'm going to get right to that right now. And I'm just going to post this link for you guys if I can find it. There we go. All right, so that's pretty exciting. It's a really cool cookbook. I'm pretty excited about it. Can I not post my own comments here? There we go. That is a big, long Amazon link. Ahmed, what's going on? From Egypt, can you talk about clean bulking and how to gain muscle without fat? Thank you. So again, I'm not the muscle building guy. You can talk to Vince Del Monte about that or Greg O'Gallagher. They can definitely help you out more than I can with that because that's what they do. But I can tell you that, you know, if you want to build muscle, it's pretty straightforward. You have to train like a machine in the gym. You have to destroy your muscles, break them down. And diet-wise, you just have to be eating a lot of food, but clean food. Because if you're eating a lot of junk, your body is going to increase its deposits of fat. So if you have too much body fat, you're not going to be able to see your lean muscle. Gaining muscle is I want to be very upfront with you. Gaining muscle is not an easy thing to do. It's a very, very time-consuming process. It's actually easier to lose weight than it is to gain muscle. So I'm a naturally pretty thin guy. For me to gain muscle, it's like a full-on 24/7 job. Not saying that you shouldn't do it, but it's totally up to you. I just want to let you know what you're getting into. So weight-wise, strength training-wise, you want to be looking at, there's all sorts of different protocols to follow. There's not one way to do it. But basically, when you're working out, you want to get to the point where your muscles are like exhausted. They can no longer lift. Like if you're doing bicep curls with this pen, it would be a challenge to lift the pen up after that workout. That's the type of damage you want to do to your muscles when muscle gain is the primary objective. So in terms of not gaining fat, again, you just have to make sure that you're eating clean. And that's even more challenging because eating clean foods are generally lower in calories unless you're eating healthy fats, which are totally fine. So you have to eat a lot more food in order to get the same number of calories coming in. So yeah. Ken, what's going on? Which is better, coconut oil or lard? I actually never used lard. I think I may have had it once in my life. So from my own experience, coconut oil is what I use, but also from a health benefit, there's no comparison. I mean, like coconut oil is like, it's the heavyweight champion when it comes to fats. Like there's no other saturated fat that has the number of benefits that coconut oil has, from all sorts of antibacterial, antimicrobial properties to teeth whitening properties because of what it can do for oil pulling in your mouth, to MCTs, the medium chain triglycerides in your body, and what that does for fat burning and all sorts of other stuff. So coconut oil is definitely, when it comes to healthy fats, I would say it's at the top of the food chain as it pertains to saturated fats. So we're talking about coconut oil, lard, butter. Those are the kind of top three. And then obviously things like fish oil and so forth are really good as well. So yeah, coconut oil definitely is the way to go. Yeah. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. And let's see what else we got going on. So again, if you guys have a question, let me know in the comments. I'm just going to refresh my feed. So I'm making sure that I'm not missing any comments here because they don't show up live for whatever reason here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so Rita, what's up? So I've been intermittent fasting and love it. Do you suggest interval training while fasting for the day? Did it yesterday and felt okay, but thought I'd ask just to make sure. Yeah, so in my previous book, the All-Day Fat Burning Diet, which is the predecessor to the All-Day Fat Burning Cookbook, which comes out in a month, I talk about on your low carb days, right? So not necessarily on a fasting day, but on a low carb day, you can actually do this on a fasting day if you have the energy reserves to do so, is first thing in the morning, do a high intensity interval training workout, which is 5 to 10 minutes in length, and that's it. And the reason I suggest that is a couple things. First of all, when you're in a fasted state or low carbohydrate state, you're not gonna be able to exercise as long. So let's not even do that, right? Second is when you put your body at a very high intensity, what that's gonna do is that's gonna release catecholamines, which are essentially just hormones like epinephrine, aka adrenaline. And what that's going to do is those hormones are going to go into your fat cells and they are going to signal, they're going to create basically a cascade of events that breaks down fats to be used as fuel. There's also an enzymatic process that happens in there with HSL, hormone sensitive lipase, which is going to help basically favor breakdown fat loss or fat burning. And this happens mostly in a fasted state. So what I would suggest is if you're using interval training with intermittent fasting, is do your training at the earlier part of your fast, not when you've been fasting for 20 hours and it's gonna be tough to kind of like think. Do 5 minutes of high intensity. It could be skipping, running, biking, just like full on sprint recovery, 5 minutes. That's gonna jack up those adrenaline molecules, those catecholamines, and they're gonna help really just go around your body, break down all those stored fats. And now, in a fasted state for the rest of the day, your body is more likely going to be relying on those broken down fats as their predominant fuel source. So that's the benefit of fasting or exercising in a fasted state, and specifically high intensity, right? We're not talking about like going for a low jog or a little jog. And as you mentioned here, the intermittent fasting interval training combination is very, very powerful. And remember, you don't have to do a lot to get the benefit from that. So that's, yeah, great suggestion. Good to hear that you're doing that. And hopefully that answer helps you out. Yeah, so, all right. Let's see what else we got going on in the comments. Again, if you guys have a question, comment, let me know in the comments. And in the meantime, I'm going to pull up a comment here from Victor. This was posted a little while ago on our Facebook page somewhere, and he was wondering, actually, sorry, this is from his wife, my bad. So his wife is saying, my husband has a caffeine addiction that is ruining his health. Well, who doesn't have a caffeine addiction that is ruining their health, right? He tries to hide it, but I find cases of this hidden all over the house. Now, cases of caffeine or cases of like Red Bull and stuff, I don't know. So He's exercising more than ever before, and he eats better when I make it for him, but he is gaining weight. So I'm not too sure what the question is there, but let's just talk about caffeine addiction. So caffeine addiction, the very fact that he's hiding stuff, right, is a telltale sign of an addiction. The very fact that you're denying something is one of the hallmark features, according to the DSM-4, which is the Encyclopedia for Psychological Disorders, of what an addiction is. So if you don't think you have an addiction, yet you're trying to hide stuff, like caffeine, like drugs, like sugar, that's one of the symptoms of an addiction. Now, understand this, like, I don't care how you guys feel about coffee, right? Because your opinion doesn't overshadow the facts of what caffeine does to your body. So you can have an opinion that coffee is awesome for you, and that's terrific, but that doesn't mean that coffee is actually good for you. I enjoy the taste of coffee. I'll be fully transparent. I enjoy the taste of a good coffee. I only drink decaf because I know that caffeine, what it does to my body, I don't like that. Okay, I don't like feeling jittery and all sorts of, all that stuff. And the thing is, if you feel like you can't start your day without caffeine, that's a very big problem. That's like, well, here's what I talk about in this book, The All-Day Energy Diet, which is my first book. Caffeine is a stimulant. And if you require a stimulant to function, that's a big warning sign that something is not right inside your body. Not at all. The reason I lost my hair when I was 17 is because I ignored a lot of these signals and signs and warning signs that my body was sending me. Low energy, terribly low energy, asthma, eczema, digestive issues. I ignored all that stuff because I didn't really know what it meant. And eventually my body said, you know what, let's send you a stronger signal. So we're just going to attack your hair follicles. And I'm not saying that caffeine did this, but low energy is a big warning sign that something inside your body is not working properly, and you need to address that, because a state of very low energy on a consistent basis is not normal. And to require a drug or a Band-Aid fix like caffeine to make you feel normal, that just doesn't make sense to me, right? So if you think you like the idea of caffeine, or if you think you like what it does for you, what I would suggest is get off the caffeine, get more greens into your body, purify your body, and then actually feel how good you can really feel. And then you're going to look back at the coffee and caffeine and be like, whoa, this is like 100 times better than I ever felt. Why would I ever want that stuff ever again? So I know a lot of people are very adamant about their coffee and that they can never live without it. And that in and of itself is a problem. The very fact that you're saying I can't live without my coffee. We've had people on my Facebook page right here, they'll actually submit comments referencing studies, scientific studies showing the benefits of coffee. Like they have an archive of caffeine references just sitting on their desktop. Those are hallmark signs that you are severely addicted to this. If somebody said drinking alcohol is bad, but for whatever reason you said it was good and you had all this scientific research to support that somehow, that's almost the same thing as what we're talking about here, okay? But we live in this world where we think that stimulants and coffee are great in the norm, but they're not, right? Again, occasionally they're okay, but if you have to rely on it every single day, that's an issue. So Rada, thank you. You're welcome. I just started reading your book last night. Looking forward to learning some more. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. The All-Day Fat Burning Diet, I assume that is. Cool. Good stuff. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys reading my books and tuning in here on a Wednesday afternoon. You guys might be on your lunch break or wherever you are in the world, somewhere at some other point in your day. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me, post your questions, and obviously allow me to do my stuff here. Okay, so I've got another interesting, so this is a good question actually. So this is more of a fitness question. What are your thoughts on the Stairclimber? Would that be preferred over walking on an incline? This is an amazing, okay. So you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to, if I can find my eraser, we're gonna get out the whiteboard, okay? So I'm gonna get the whiteboard out, and if I can, where are the markers? Okay, so I'm gonna get the whiteboard out. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. I'm just gonna make sure that my screen is picking this up. All right, so we're gonna have some fun here. I love talking about this stuff. So we're talking stair climber versus incline walking on a treadmill. Okay, so stair climber, what I'm gonna think about when you're talking about this is not the stepper where you're just like that, like a la Suzanne Summers. This is the actual revolving staircase, which is a very, just an amazing, amazing machine. And here's why. So if you think about, I'm not gonna go back to calculus here, but I'm just gonna break this down as simply as I can. When you are walking on a flat surface, okay, when you're walking on a flat surface, all of the weight is moving horizontally, right? So you have you're a square in this case, and you're walking horizontally. So let's say that you weigh 150 pounds. So 150 pounds is moving horizontally, and now you have the force of gravity, which is also keeping you on the ground, okay? So we're just gonna call this Fg, force of gravity. This is going back to physics and calculus. This is tripping me out a little bit here. Okay, so when you're moving horizontally, all of the movement components are moving horizontally, okay? There's a component of gravity which is minimal because you're moving horizontally, you're not moving vertically. However, as you have experienced in your life at some point, when you take that flat surface and you start going uphill, you have an horizontal component, or the component that's in the direction of the movements, and then you have a greater component, which is gravity now. So 150 pounds, when you're moving on an incline, and what do you guys think? The steeper the incline, the easier it is, or the tougher it is? What do you think? Tougher, right? That's why climbing a mountain is tough, because it's going almost vertically. That's why wall climbing is tough, because the vertical component becomes that much greater than the horizontal component. Okay, so when you're moving more vertically, you're doing more work, because in order for you to work against gravity's pull, your muscles have to work more to keep you moving up in that direction. And that's why, for instance, cyclists who are lighter, right, so they weigh less, have an easier time on the Tour de France on the hill stages because they don't have as much weight to move against gravity, right? So they're moving, instead of 150 pounds, maybe they're 120 pounds, and they're lighter and are able to fly up that hill much more efficiently than somebody who weighs more than them, okay? In that case, everything else being equal. So the stair climber or the incline treadmill, both of them are amazing, okay? I'm a huge fan of them because the difficulty outdoors is that when you're walking or running stairs, you have to come back down, right? When you're walking up a hill or running up a hill, eventually you have to come back down. So the downward motion is what creates a lot of the damage and a lot of the soreness in those workouts. And it also prevents how much you're able to do without having to come back down all the time. When you're working on the Stairmaster, the stair climber, so you have this revolving set of stairs, right? And they're kind of on this belt, and then you kind of walk up here and there's like this thingamajig. You're basically walking uphill forever until you stop, and that's amazing. You can throw a knapsack on, you can throw a weighted vest on, and you are working for 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes uphill. And the cool thing here is that you can increase the speed. So now if you want to get more of a kind of a light jog going, you can do that. If you want to walk, you can absolutely do that as well. And the cool thing here is that it's not just a cardio workout. Walking stairs is like doing single leg step-ups, which is kind of like a lunge, a little lunge, or a single leg squat. Doing this type of stuff is tremendously beneficial for sculpting and toning and strengthening your legs. This is a benefit you don't necessarily get to the same degree if you're walking on an incline. Let's look at an example. So if you're standing on a step, right? So this is the ground, this is the step. This is you. You have one leg up here, one leg on the floor, and then the rest of your body is up here. Okay, so look at the angle at the leg, right? Let's just assume here it's a 90-degree angle. Now, obviously on the stair climber, it's not 90 degrees, but it's pretty close to that. when you're at this angle, the muscles involved to move your body up from that position to a straight position are dramatically different than if the step were lower, right? This is why it's important to train, to really train in your ranges of motion, where you're getting different degrees, different angles, different muscle fibers working, because if you're just down here, you're getting less muscle fibers involved. And that's going to mean less efficiency, less strength gains, less calories burned, fewer calories burned. Now, so you're going to get lots of glute activation back here, hamstrings, some quads at the top. It's awesome. Let's compare that to walking on a treadmill on an incline. So when you're walking on an incline, that's not a good rendition here. So when you're walking on an incline, you've got one leg kind of coming forward, there's something like that, right? That's whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. But anyways, you don't have the same degree of angle and thus force production walking uphill as you do on a step. Walking uphill, there's more of a pulling feeling. So you're working more of the hamstring and glute, for instance, whereas here it's more of a pushing feeling as you're pushing up. So this is a way overdrawn, long-winded answer to your question, but these are two of my favorite machines because they're amazing for building strength, they're amazing for increasing your cardiovascular capacity, and they're very safe. You don't have to run on an incline. You don't have to run on stairs. These are great strength building exercises that are amazing for no matter what age you are. Tremendous. Very, very functional as well. When are you walking stairs in the real world? Probably every day, right? When are you walking up a hill in the real world? Probably every day to some degree or not, or another, right? So it's not that one or the other is better, but using both is awesome, right? Because you want to give your body multiple stimuli to train it to basically, to deal with whatever life throws your way. So that's a long-winded answer, but I hope that answers that question. So anyways. All right, so Lou, back on your program this week, down 4 pounds already. Awesome. Very cool, very cool. You will love the new cookbook. It's amazing. Stephanie, I suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome. Do you have any nutritional advice for someone like me? Well, no, I don't know. I mean, other than what I talk about in this book, the principles are, chronic fatigue is a little bit different because it's not as simple as, change your diet. And in some cases it can be. But what I would suggest in general is just clean up your diet, right? Get rid of the junk, get rid of the irritants, the inflammation, get more greens in, more anti-inflammatory foods, which are essentially plants, more veggies, more fruit, lots of greens, lots of water, good sleep, all the, it's the same stuff. So in the All-Day Energy Diet, I talk about 7 energy commandments. And one of them is how you heal anything is how you heal everything. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about alopecia, chronic fatigue syndrome, weight issues, hypertension, cancer. The way to solve all that stuff is the exact same. It really is. And unfortunately, as an industry, we've made it much more complicated in order to sell more stuff. That's just the reality of the way it is. So it doesn't really, again, whatever it is, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, whatever, like chronic fatigue, reduce inflammation in your body, restore vital nutrients to your body, just kind of like chill out, allow your body to recover a little bit better, sleep better. All of these components are going to help your body heal itself, because we don't heal, our body heals itself and knows exactly how to do that. We kind of just have to get out of the way. And that's, that's kind of as basic as I can make it. There's obviously some specific nuances depending on the condition. And again, I don't know the specifics of what you're going through, but I think as a starting point, that'd be helpful. And just think about getting in 1 green juice, 1 green smoothie a day, getting in more veggies and fruit every single day, and starting with that. Becky, thanks for doing these live sessions. You're welcome. I'll probably do more of these because I enjoy them. I'll probably do some of them from the iPhone as well. I'm actually on my desktop right here. So I'll do some more informal ones on the iPhone when I can. Any nutrition tips for fighting a cold? yeah, same thing I just said about the chronic fatigue stuff. Get lots of nutrients in, manage your stress. During times of stress and colds and so forth, I wouldn't recommend flu vaccines because that's a whole other ball of wax. But just, look at getting in more of, for instance, garlic, vitamin C. The benefit actually of vitamin C is that try to get vitamin C in on a consistent basis at a higher than normal level. So let's talk about, anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 milligrams per day on a consistent basis, even up to 10,000 milligrams if you want to, up to bowel tolerance to the point of almost diarrhea. That's kind of your upper threshold. If you have that level consistently, your body's going to recover faster from workouts. They've actually shown this with marathon runners. There's a lower risk of getting sick, and it just helps your body deal with all the stuff that's going on all the time. So you can do that supplementally. You can also eat more quality foods, and you'll be getting more of that stuff in. But again, if you're overall pretty healthy, just think about the basics, right? So probiotics, vitamin C, garlic, omega-3 fatty acids, those are kind of the staples. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'd recommend. I wouldn't necessarily go to like the oregano oils and all that stuff. You don't need to do that. I think, in maybe select cases where it's needed for a short amount of time, yes, but overall you can get a lot of benefit from vitamin C. Vitamin D as well. D3, very, very important. Very, very powerful vitamin. Okay, Nadine, I know you're a big fan of HIT, high intensity interval training, but are there any instances where you'd recommend steady state cardio? Yep. Only for recovery. That's it. End of story. So, or if you're not feeling up to it. If you're not feeling like doing a cardio workout, don't even do it. You're better off doing a yoga session. Steady state, long duration, just use it for recovery. Low intensity, go for 10-20 minutes, that's it. All right, so holy cow, time flies. All right, guys, I need to go because I'm doing another live hangout in just a few minutes. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this, share with your friends, give us a comment, give us a thumbs up. And again, every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, except for last week because I was on a plane and I forgot to tell you guys. I will be here doing Ask Yuri Live. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. It's always a lot of fun to connect with you, and keep up the awesome work. Do what you can to make today and tomorrow healthier, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. And in the meantime, check your email this week. We got some special stuff happening for Thanksgiving. So if you're on my email list, that's awesome. If you're not, get on the email list. You don't want to miss out on some of the special stuff we got coming your way. Thanks again, guys. Talk to you later, and we'll finish off with our outro.
Trouble losing weight? Need more energy? Want to improve your health? You got a fitness or nutrition question? I probably have an answer for you.